Hi everyone. I have a really exciting lightsaber hilt to review today. I just got this a few days ago. This is the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber hilt from Episode 4 A New Hope. It is slightly different from the Revenge of the Sith version, but I'll go over some of the differences later. This particular prop is from Roman Props. I think this is by far, from everything that I've heard, this is the best one, the most accurate one on the market in terms of that particular hilt. I think Korbanth or 89 Sabers do one as well called the K4, if I'm not mistaken, and that's really decent as well. I've had a look at that. I had some trouble picking between the two, but in the end I asked some people on the Facebook groups, and the majority of them recommended the MK1 by Roman Props. The design and the quality of it is really fantastic, and it is highly accurate. I think Roman Props is best known for the MK1, and he makes a lot of other hilts like Graflexes and other things, but he's best known for the MK1. So he makes two versions of this, a static and an FX ready hilt. I went with the FX ready one just because I like to keep my options open. If I decide to do an install sometime in the future, then it can be easily like taken apart. A chassis and a battery and all that stuff can be fit easily. As far as I understood from his website, they look identical, the static and the FX. It's just the internal diameters are different. But don't let that fool you. It's not sort of a hollow. This is definitely heavy. It's got some real kind of heft to it, and it feels like a weapon. It feels really good in the hand, and it's comfortable to hold as well. For each of them, for both the FX and the standard one, the what does he call it? The static. He again offers two options, either just a steel finish or a weathered finish. And I went with the weathered because that's how it appears in Star Wars A New Hope. I like that kind of aged, weathered look, particularly for the original trilogy sabers. I don't like a shiny chrome look, because that reminds me more of like the prequels. So as you can see here, some of the weathering on the emitter section. Also here, this gold section, and this would have been, you know, a bright kind of brass, but it's nicely weathered. The wind vane here, it spins for some reason, but I think I was told that that's accurate, that's how it should be. So yeah, I mean, all of these can be unscrewed very easily, taken apart, every part of the lightsaber. The emitter, he sells these blade plugs as well. That's the only part that you have to buy separate. Here's some of the detail on the emitter. And then you've got the thin neck and the wind vane. And this is the grenade section, which is really heavy, and it's got a nice kind of matte black finish. A standard Graflex clamp. It comes with a bubble strip, which looks really nice. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, but I chose to replace it with a bubble strip from Wannawanga. I was told that was slightly more accurate. It looked a little bit better, but honestly you can hardly tell the two apart. But you know, side by side, if you compare them, this one does have slightly nicer, clearer bubbles from Wannawanga, and it fits perfectly. These two washers, or they're transistors, and they come with a washer each, but the accurate way to do it is that there should be one washer down here, and the top one should be missing, at least for the Death Star scene. I think for the Tatooine scene, they're both there, but if you want to be really accurate, you could put one or or both. It doesn't matter. It's up to you. And they're easy. I mean, there's a nut inside, and you just kind of screw them in. The assembly and disassembly of this is an absolute breeze. And then there's this portion here, which I forget the name of that as well. The booster, I think. Yeah, the booster. And finally the pommel, which is based off a British sync knob. So it's like a tap. And you can get two versions. It can either say C for cold or H for hot. And there's a ring that comes around, like a blue ring here for the cold one, or a red one for the hot one. I chose to take that out. You can easily remove it. I think the idea is that if you'd like it to look like a more kind of vintage part, you can keep it looking like a tap. But I don't like that. I don't like things. I like sabers to look like in universe. I don't like them to look like vintage, real world parts, if that makes sense. So I just chose to remove that blue ring because I'm pretty sure they've removed it for the movie, and they probably also covered this. Although there's no real good, images from 1977, so it's hard to say what they did. Yeah, the D-ring comes with it. I had a little trouble putting this in, but in the end I kind of got there. Sadly, I scratched the chrome a little bit there doing it, and this is another reason why I hate chrome. The kind of shiny chrome is just so easy to scratch, and you get fingerprints all over it. I'm not a fan of chrome on lightsabers. I like the dull finish a lot better. So I may just weather this in the future. I may just weather this whole thing, because there's no way to remove scratches off chrome. Once you scratch it, that's it. If you try to buff it, it'll end up looking worse because you reveal the metal that's underneath. So the best thing to do is just to kind of weather it, or just live with it. But anyway, it's not too bad. Yeah, D-ring is there. I added like a touch of Loctite here just inside, so it just stops kind of rattling all over the place, because that's kind of annoying. Yeah, and then lining them up for accuracy. The side with the transistors should be facing the other way from the D-ring, like that. D-ring here, transistors here, and bubble strip on top. There's really not much to say about this, but it is a quality build. It is heavy. It looks amazing with the weathering. It's FX ready. I can't remember the exact price of it, but he's got them on discount at the moment. So they are available in stock. Probably about $300, including everything, VAT, shipping, all of that. I might be wrong, don't quote me, but it's somewhere around that figure. Yeah, so that's it. The MK1, Obi-Wan Kenobi, A New Hope lightsaber from Roman Props. Very highly recommended. Any questions, feel free to leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed this quick review, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you.